In Episode 1, titled The Small Town Secrets, Jack Reacher arrives in the picturesque town of Millwood. Initially, he's just passing through, but his attention is caught by the disappearance of a young woman named Sarah, which the locals seem to be dismissing as inconsequential. Reacher, unable to ignore injustice, decides to investigate Sarah's disappearance. He starts by subtly probing the locals, piecing together fragments of information that lead him to believe there's more to the story than meets the eye. Along the way, he encounters resistance from the town's authorities who prefer to maintain the facade of a peaceful community. As Reacher digs deeper, he uncovers a web of corruption involving the town's influential figures, the mayor, a wealthy businessman, and some law enforcement officers. He realizes Sarah stumbled upon something significant that threatened these corrupt elements, leading to her disappearance. The episode showcases Reacher's investigative prowess as he employs his keen observation skills, physical prowess, and strategic thinking to gather evidence and uncover the truth. He faces off against adversaries who try to intimidate and thwart his efforts to unearth the reality behind Sarah's vanishing. Throughout the episode, Reacher's character traits come to the forefront: his relentless pursuit of justice, his knack for exposing hidden agendas, and his unwavering determination to bring those responsible to account. The tension builds as Reacher gets closer to unraveling the truth, culminating in a gripping confrontation where he confronts the perpetrators, forcing them to reckon with their misdeeds and ultimately ensuring justice for Sarah and exposing the corruption plaguing Millwood. In Episode 2, titled The Missing Heir, Jack Reacher's journey takes him to a bustling city where he encounters a distressed woman, Emma, desperately seeking his help. Emma's brother, Daniel, has gone missing, and as Reacher listens to her plea, he recognizes the urgency in her voice and the gravity of the situation. Daniel is the sole heir to a substantial fortune tied to a prominent corporation. As Reacher begins investigating, he discovers layers of family rivalries, corporate power struggles, and intricate dynamics within the company. It becomes evident that Daniel's disappearance is not a random event but a calculated move with larger implications. Reacher navigates the city's complex social hierarchy, using his resourcefulness to gather information and identify potential suspects. He encounters individuals with motives ranging from financial gain to family vendettas, all vying for control of the corporation through Daniel's absence. The investigation leads Reacher through a maze of deceit and betrayal, uncovering a sophisticated kidnapping scheme orchestrated by someone within the corporation itself. As he delves deeper, Reacher faces challenges from adversaries who are willing to go to extreme lengths to maintain their advantage. Using his street smarts and investigative skills, Reacher pieces together clues, follows leads, and confronts those involved, navigating a web of lies and deceit to rescue Daniel before the conspirators carry out their ultimate plan. The episode showcases Reacher's ability to analyze intricate situations, outmaneuver adversaries, and employ unconventional tactics to solve the case. As the story unfolds, the tension escalates, leading to a thrilling climax where Reacher confronts the mastermind behind the kidnapping, ensuring Daniel's safe return and exposing the truth behind the elaborate plot. In Episode 3, titled The Cold Case, Jack Reacher stumbles upon an old, unsolved murder case that piques his interest. The case involves the brutal killing of a prominent individual in a small town, which has haunted the community for years. Drawn to the challenge of solving a seemingly impossible mystery, Reacher starts re-examining the details of the case. He revisits the crime scene, meticulously analyzes old evidence, and interviews witnesses who might have overlooked critical information at the time of the investigation. As he digs deeper, Reacher discovers overlooked clues and inconsistencies in the initial investigation. He identifies a retired detective, Frank Thompson, who had worked on the case years ago but was never able to solve it. Thompson, haunted by the unsolved murder, reluctantly assists Reacher in revisiting the past, sharing valuable insights and leads that were overlooked. Their investigation leads them down a path filled with twists and turns, uncovering hidden connections between the victim and influential figures in the town. Reacher's intuitive thinking and Thompson's experience complement each other as they navigate through layers of deception and cover-ups. As they piece together fragmented information, Reacher and Thompson uncover a web of deceit involving powerful individuals who had motives to silence the victim. The episode delves into the town's history, revealing dark secrets that have long been buried. The tension rises as Reacher gets closer to unveiling the truth, facing resistance from those who are determined to keep the past buried. The episode culminates in a riveting confrontation where Reacher confronts the perpetrator, exposes the truth behind the long unsolved murder, and brings closure to the case, providing justice for the victim and resolution for the community. In Episode 4, titled The Conspiracy, Jack Reacher encounters a government whistleblower seeking his help in exposing a far-reaching conspiracy that threatens national security. Reacher's curiosity is piqued as he delves into the whistleblower's claims, finding compelling evidence supporting the existence of a clandestine operation within the government. Initially skeptical, Reacher begins to uncover a series of discrepancies and unusual patterns that hint at a cover-up orchestrated by high-ranking officials. He navigates through a maze of classified information, following a trail of breadcrumbs while evading surveillance and attempts to thwart his investigation. As Reacher digs deeper, he realizes the extent of the conspiracy, which involves manipulating sensitive information for personal gain while compromising the safety and trust of the nation. He encounters obstacles at every turn, facing off against powerful adversaries determined to maintain the status quo and silence anyone seeking to expose the truth. The episode showcases Reacher's strategic thinking and resourcefulness as he employs his investigative skills to gather evidence and connect the dots. Along the way, he forms alliances with unlikely allies, leveraging their expertise and resources to uncover the full extent of the conspiracy. The tension escalates as Reacher races against time to compile irrefutable evidence while staying one step ahead of those trying to discredit and eliminate him. The episode culminates in a high-stakes confrontation where Reacher confronts the key players behind the conspiracy, revealing the truth to the public and ensuring accountability for those involved in the betrayal of the nation's trust. In Episode 5, titled The Underground Network, Jack Reacher finds himself in a sprawling city teeming with an intricate underworld network. As he navigates through its bustling streets, he becomes aware of a string of mysterious disappearances, seemingly unrelated but deeply connected to this clandestine world. Reacher's curiosity is piqued, and he begins to investigate these vanishings. He dives into the city's underbelly, encountering a network of criminals, smugglers, and those operating in the shadows. As he delves deeper, he unravels a complex web of interconnected crimes and clandestine activities, realizing that these disappearances are not random but orchestrated by an elusive underground organization. Using his astute observational skills and knack for reading people, Reacher gains access to this covert network. He navigates through its intricate layers, forming unlikely alliances and leveraging his expertise to gather information while remaining undercover. Throughout the episode, Reacher confronts moral dilemmas, grappling with the blurred lines between justice and the methods required to dismantle such an extensive criminal network. He faces adversaries who are cunning and ruthless, testing his resolve and resourcefulness. As Reacher inches closer to unraveling the truth behind the disappearances, the danger intensifies. He finds himself entangled in a precarious situation where he must outmaneuver the criminal elements without compromising his principles. The episode reaches a thrilling climax as Reacher takes decisive action to dismantle the underground network, freeing the abducted individuals and bringing those responsible to justice while navigating the moral complexities of his actions. In Episode 6, titled The Betrayal, Jack Reacher finds himself entangled in a personal and deeply precarious situation. A trusted friend, whom he had known for years, approaches him with a seemingly straightforward request for assistance. However, as events unfold, Reacher realizes he's been drawn into a web of deceit and betrayal. The friend, let's call him Paul, entrusts Reacher with safeguarding a valuable artifact, claiming it needs protection from nefarious individuals seeking to exploit its power for personal gain. Initially, Reacher sees it as a simple task, but soon, circumstances take a dark turn. Unbeknownst to Reacher, Paul has ulterior motives. As the plot thickens, Reacher finds himself framed for a crime he didn't commit. Evidence is fabricated against him, and he becomes a fugitive, pursued by law enforcement and shadowy figures with vested interests in the artifact. Driven by his determination to clear his name and unravel the truth behind Paul's betrayal, Reacher employs his sharp investigative skills to navigate through a maze of false leads and treacherous encounters. He revisits his past interactions with Paul, scrutinizing every detail for clues that might unravel the motive behind the betrayal. Throughout the episode, Reacher grapples with conflicting emotions, anger at the betrayal, the need for retribution, and the inherent trust he had placed in his friend. The tension escalates as Reacher races against time, piecing together evidence and forging unexpected alliances to expose the truth. The episode reaches a crescendo as Reacher confronts Paul, unravels the intricate plot, and uncovers the true intentions behind the betrayal. In a gripping showdown, Reacher demonstrates resilience and unwavering determination to clear his name and ensure that justice prevails, ultimately exposing the motives and orchestrators behind the elaborate scheme. In Episode 7, titled The Last Stand, Jack Reacher finds himself in a seemingly quiet and remote small town. However, the tranquility of the town is shattered when Reacher uncovers a menacing plot orchestrated by a group of ruthless mercenaries. As Reacher explores the town, he senses an underlying tension and discovers subtle but ominous signs hinting at an imminent threat. He uncovers a plan devised by the mercenaries to carry out a devastating attack on the town, targeting its vulnerable areas and exploiting its isolation for their gain. Realizing the town is in imminent danger, Reacher takes it upon himself to warn the locals and prepares them for the impending assault. Despite facing skepticism and disbelief from the townspeople, Reacher remains resolute in his mission to protect the community. The episode unfolds with Reacher's meticulous planning and strategic maneuvers to fortify the town's defenses, rallying the residents to stand united against the impending threat. He draws on his expertise in tactics and combat, preparing makeshift defenses and training the townsfolk to defend themselves. Meanwhile, the mercenaries, led by a cunning and formidable leader, approach the town, their intentions veiled in secrecy. The tension mounts as Reacher and the townspeople brace for the inevitable confrontation, with time running out before the mercenaries launch their assault. In a gripping climax, a high-stakes standoff ensues as Reacher and the townspeople face off against the mercenaries. The episode culminates in a thrilling battle where Reacher employs his resourcefulness and tactical prowess to outsmart the attackers, ensuring the town's survival and thwarting the mercenaries' plans. Through unwavering determination and a commitment to protecting the innocent, Reacher emerges victorious, displaying courage and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, ultimately securing the safety of the town and its residents. Certainly. In Episode 8, titled The Final Showdown, the season reaches its climactic conclusion as Jack Reacher confronts the mastermind behind the overarching conspiracy that has threaded through previous episodes. This final installment intertwines multiple storylines, culminating in a high-stakes confrontation that demands Reacher to utilize all his skills and intelligence. Reacher follows the trail of evidence accumulated throughout the season, leading him to a powerful figure at the center of the conspiracy. He uncovers the identity of the orchestrator, someone influential with resources to manipulate events and maintain a veil of secrecy around their actions. The episode commences with Reacher strategizing and meticulously planning his approach, aware that confronting this adversary will be the most challenging and dangerous endeavor yet. He understands the necessity of gathering irrefutable evidence and forming alliances to bolster his position in what is to be a decisive face-off. Meanwhile, the mastermind is aware of Reacher's pursuit and prepares countermeasures to thwart any attempt to expose the truth. The tension heightens as Reacher inches closer to the truth, facing calculated obstacles and dangerous adversaries seeking to protect the conspirator. Throughout the episode, Reacher relies on his intuition, intellect, and physical prowess, maneuvering through perilous situations while trying to stay ahead of his adversaries. He taps into his network of allies, calling upon their support and expertise to bolster his efforts in uncovering the final pieces of the puzzle. The climax builds to a gripping confrontation between Reacher and the mastermind, where secrets are unveiled, and the truth behind the intricate web of deceit is finally brought to light. In a showdown that tests Reacher's resolve and pushes his limits, he uses every skill at his disposal to ensure justice prevails and the mastermind faces accountability for their actions. The episode culminates in a satisfying resolution where Reacher's determination and unwavering pursuit of truth prevail. He exposes the mastermind's machinations, bringing closure to the cases that have unfolded throughout the season, and ensures that justice is served, ultimately leaving a lasting impact on the world he encountered in this thrilling journey.